beautiful people, what is going on? My name is Maddskillz, and you are now tuned into the Spark Something Podcast. And I honestly want you guys to be the best version of yourselves. Like, I pray that you live out the life that God is calling you to live out, because there will never, ever, 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 ever be another you. Like, ever. Like, you have a certain je ne sais quoi about you, and no one else can do it the way that you can do it, because you do it how you do it, and it's so good when you do that. But now, on the real, welcome to the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's go. There is nothing wrong with us. Like, my people who have a big heart, like, baby, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with the people who you give your big heart to. The thing that's wrong is the boundaries that we don't have for ourselves when we give our heart to those people, whether it be friends, family, whether it be platonic or But those type of people, they are who they are. We are who we are. But if you know that you have a big heart, you also have to learn to set boundaries for your gigantic heart. Like, it's hard to love someone who doesn't love you back. It's hard to overextend yourself for people who are not going to overextend themselves for you. Trust me, I have been on that roller coaster ride, and it was a hard one to get off. And you have to, every single day, get off that roller coaster ride. Like, every day you wake up, you got to get off the roller coaster ride until you become comfortable enough to say, you know what? I don't like this ride anymore. I'm going to get off, and I'm going to try something else. And hopefully the next ride you get on would be the ride of self-love. I don't know why I'm talking about rides. Listen, people who have very, very big hearts, one thing that I realize about us, because I can talk about us because I'm one of them peoples, is we have a tough time loving ourselves. Like, we have a tough time learning to put into ourselves what we put into other people. And we don't understand why, when we don't receive what we have given, we feel depleted. Something one day is going to click. There is a great meme that I've read that I don't know the entire thing, but I do remember a part in the meme where it says, "And she woke up different." That is a true story. But it's not an overnight thing. Like, it's a process that happens. Like, it's a daily process that happens. It's a yearly process that happens. Eventually you get to a point to where, like I said before, I don't like this ride anymore, so I'm gonna get off. I wrote a post on Facebook. I love social media. I'm not gonna lie. Social media has a lot of ups and downs, but you take it with a grain of salt. Look, you get it how you live on social media. You get in, you get out, you get off. Don't spend your whole life on social media, but you got to come back to reality eventually. And the reality of it, the reality of what it was for me was that I didn't know how to put the love that I was giving and the love that I was putting into people and into certain situations that didn't benefit me. I didn't realize that I didn't know how to give that love back to myself. And to have to wake up every day and be kind to myself, talk nice to myself, not be so hard on myself, because I can be my worst critic. And I created this podcast because I know that I'm not the only one. And I feel as though if I could help someone else, then why not? So this was my space to do so. So I realized that I didn't I didn't talk to myself the way I would talk to other people. I didn't treat myself the way I would treat other people. I didn't like myself or love myself the way I liked and loved other people, or sowed or poured into me the way I would pour into other people. And I didn't realize how it affected me. I didn't realize how it affected my self-esteem. I didn't realize how it affected the way I viewed my outlook on my life, my personal life. I didn't realize that I could be so much further along in my personal life if I pour more into me than I would pour into other people. And it's not a sense of, oh, you're a Christian, you're supposed to be giving, you're supposed to be loving. I'm not saying that as a believer. I'm not saying as a person that I'm not still going to be loving. I'm not saying that I'm not still going to be giving, or that I'm not going to be able to pour into people. What I'm saying is, I can't pour from an empty cup. You feel me? So if I've given myself here, and here, I haven't given anything to God, but I've given everything that He's given me to people, I'm going to be depleted. I haven't given anything to myself, and I'm expecting what I've given out to be given back. That's not gonna happen. I'll be the first to let you guys know, and I'm sure that you've probably heard this before. You probably will never ever get back what you've given. To all my people with big hearts, especially the ones in the back, listen, you probably will never get back what you have given. With that being said, sweetheart, I wrote this post. Now I'm looking on my Facebook right now. I wrote this post 6 days ago. Now, when I release this episode, this is 6 days from the day that I'm recording it. So you probably gonna have to go back. If you go on my Facebook, you have to go back to, find it. But I wrote this post saying, don't become the people who hurt you. And when I wrote this, I was going through my own episode that day. That week. So it was rough because I had to realize that I needed to shut myself off from certain things and certain people. But I also realized that there was a lot of negativity that was going on within me, to where I was like, you know what? I ain't doing nothing for nobody. I'm not doing this. I don't want to do that. No, they're going to take advantage of me. No, I'm not. No, I realized that I don't want to completely shut myself off from being the person that God is calling me to be, but I also need to realize that who God is calling me to be for them, I have to also learn how to be that for myself. And I have to go to Him to get that understanding of what I need to do, because it's important that I love on myself just as much as I love on my neighbor. I can't love my neighbor as I love myself if I don't love myself. Then that makes no sense, because do I really love my neighbor? Do I really love myself? So I had to really get that understanding. So I did back away. I did shut myself off. I did, close a lot of doors, and I needed to find out what I needed to do so that I wouldn't feel depleted at the end of me pouring out to people and giving so much to people. And I posted this. Now that post that I just said to you guys about not becoming the people that hurt you, that was from me. That was from my personal experience, because I felt as though I was becoming the people who hurt me. I was becoming the things that hurt me, and I was internalizing everything. And I realized that I kept reliving past incidents. I kept living in those moments. Like, I realized that I had certain triggers that I didn't know that I had, that I didn't realize that were there when they would come up. I didn't know that they were triggers. I was just like, oh, that looks familiar. I don't like that. Ooh, I don't like the way that makes me feel. And I didn't realize that I fed off of that. And instead of saying, you know what, that's a trigger, instead of saying I don't like that, I internalize it, and it would hurt me. And then I would go into my shell, and then I would talk down on myself. Like, I would beat me up. And it was rough. Like, it was really, really hard for me to understand that was going on. And I still have my days. I still have my moments. I'm not going to front and pretend like I got this all together. I got it covered. Like, it's easier for me now to talk about it and to discuss it with you guys, because I realize that it is a trigger now. And sometimes I have to realize my triggers. Sometimes I'll catch it before I lose it. And I don't like flip out or anything. Like, my feelings get hurt, I shut down, I back away. Like, I have to, for me, a lot of the times I pray about it. I go to God about it, and I ask him, like, hey, Lord, this is bothering me. This is an issue. I don't know how to deal with it. I've tried to deal with it before, and it didn't, really work out the way that I needed to, because it made me bitter. And I was like, God, I don't want to be bitter. I don't want to be broken in these areas. Like, I want to be whole. I want to be healed in these areas. So I needed to go through the process of realizing that these things or these broken pieces were there. And it was rough. Like, it's rough to go through this process, to go and actually notice that I have childhood traumas and be like, okay, I don't want to deal with that right now, but I have to, because I realize that before I have children, before I become a wife, before I can, pour more love into me, like, I have to deal with different things that hurt me, different things that left a scar. And I have to be like, okay, cool, I gotta work on this. I don't have to work on it all at the same time, because I'm not gonna lie, when 2020 hit, when COVID happened, I don't know if it was just me. And I had this conversation with someone that's close to me. Obviously, it wasn't just, me personally, but when I talked about depression, I talked about anxiety in my last episode. And what I meant by those things were a lot of my childhood issues begin to like spring up. And my mind was going in different places. And I didn't know that these things were still there. Like, when I say it was weighing heavy on me, it was weighing heavy on me. And it was something that I didn't know was there until everything stopped. My whole life was at a halt during for COVID. When everything stopped, I lost my job. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know how everything was gonna, when I say God literally has been just showing up and killing it, bruh, killing it, dog. Listen, I would not be here. There would not be a podcast. There would not be a Maddskillz. There would not be any music. There would not be a Lynetta. There wouldn't be the blessings that have come during 20. There would be no overcoming this. There would be none of this without God. And when I say he's been blowing my mind, 2020 has been rough. I said in my last episode, it was trash. It's been trash. But it's been a lot of things that I've had to deal with internally that has made me a better person, a stronger person, a real deal, a real person. And there's things that if you continue to live your life, just the whole mundane, just doing the same thing over and over, getting up, going to work, going to church, going to the grocery store, going to see people, and nothing stops. Just your whole life just keeps going. And you never you never know what you're dealing with. Just you, sitting by yourself. You would never know what you're dealing with. So God literally blew my mind this year. A lot of stuff happened to where I was I cried a lot. 2020 was an emotional year. I cried a lot. I prayed a lot. Listen, I cried a lot. And I still cry. It's been hard. It's been rough, but it has made me a stronger person. And it's made me realize that I am strong. I got my weaknesses, but even in my weakness, God literally was showing himself to be the Hulk. I'm just saying the Hulk to give you a visual, but greater than that, bigger than that. And I was just okay, God, I see I see you moving. I see that. I don't know what's going on, but I gotta trust you because like you're the only thing right now that's literally like the greatest thing in my life right now. So I have to trust you. But with all of that, 2 days ago from the recording of this show, I was on Facebook and I saw this post. And when I saw it, I was like, ooh. Like it was one of those memes or those posts that was just like, ooh. Like, say it louder for the people in the back, bro. Like, say it loud for the people in the back. So I had to post it. And this post, according and everything that I was saying at the beginning of this episode is actually stemming from this post. So I wanted to read the post to you guys. It's a special one, and I was just like, yo, I gotta say that. That's good. Like, that's good. You know how you just hear stuff and be like, ooh, that's good. So this guy, I have no idea who he is. Never met him. I believe it's from Twitter. Or maybe it was just like in his phone or something. I don't know. But it says, I often overplayed my position in people's lives. I used to think it was because I had such a big giving heart. But now I'm understanding I lack boundaries. I'm always going above and beyond for those I love. And when it's not returned, I find myself in my feelings. And I was like, whoa. I was like, and the name on the thing says @StopIt_AJ. I gotta find @StopIt_AJ and say, bruh. Like, dude. Story of my life. Like, I was just like, yo, that was well said, for one, and for two, like it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was just like, yeah. So I'm slowly healing. I'm healing, and I love the process. It hurts so bad, but it feels so good at the same time because I'm going through this process. And in going through this process, like I was, if everything hadn't slowed down, I probably would be fearful during this process and be like, nah, I probably would have never gone through this process. But I am, and it feels so good. It hurts so bad, but it feels so good to just really know, like, yo, take a deep breath. You're human. You're human. And God is going to take care of all of that. All of that hurt and that pain, like, hand it over to Him. Hand it over to Him, and He'll give you rest. He'll give you peace. And when I tell y'all, bro, like, it's a peace that has come over me to where I'm just like, it's like I can literally breathe a lot easier now. And I have my moments. I still have my moments, but I have to realize that God is still with me, bro. He's still with me. And whoever @StopIt_AJ is, like, when I read that, I was like, yo, that touched my heart. And I had to do a show about it. So I'm hoping that it touched yours the way that it touched mine. And that you guys, my friends, my big-hearted people, I want you guys to know, I really pray for you guys, like the way that I pray for myself, because I have to literally go to God and say, Lord, like, look, this hurts. And I remember when I first got saved, and I was like, Lord, I want a heart like yours. I had no idea what that meant, like, until now. And I was just like, no, God, take it back. Like, I don't want it. Take it back. But it's it's an amazing thing when I can honestly go to God and say, Lord, like, yo, I feel you, bro. Like, I get it. That hurt. And it's just like, but Jesus went through it all already. So he understands. So even when I cry, when I go to him and I'm just like, ouch, ooh, I can't do it anymore. And he's like, I did this for you already. Like, all you gotta do is rest and walk in it. And he begins to show me how to better love myself and how to better treat myself and how to better understand where I'm at and what I'm supposed to do. So, but just know that I love y'all. This has been your girl, Maddskillz. Like, go be great. Do yourself a favor. Please show yourself some love. Show yourself some love because you need it too. Like, you deserve that. God loves you. I love you. And I hope this sparks something in your life. And I'm out. Peace, baby.